Hello, my lovelies. I'm Ray, and welcome back to Fanfiction Monday. Okay, so I don't really have a story about this one. Besides, I don't know what the fuck I'm getting myself into. I read about like a little bit of this. I don't know how much, and oh boy, oh, you think all the other stories are strange? Oh, I think this person literally wrote this just to be as weird as they can get. It's called Alphy's Bad School Day. Yeah. So, writer, if you're watching this, what the fuck were you thinking? Holy shit. Let's just fucking get into this shit. Alphys gets schooled. One delightfully sunny morning in the middle of Tokyo itself, Alphys and Undyne were having the time of their lives, clobbering each other in giant anthropomorphic mechs shaped like themselves, while a massive crowd of onlookers gathered up in a circle around them and gawked in dumbfounded astonishment. Alphys! Why are we doing this to each other? For Neptune's sake! I thought we freaking loved each other! Undyne cried as Alphys spun around and slapped her right in the giant robot chest with her giant robot tail, sending the poor fish girl toppling head over heels onto the ground while Alphys lifted up her giant robot foot and pressed it down on top of her. You still don't realize the true meaning of friendship, do you? Well, I'm going to show you, Undyne! Alphys growled as Undyne spun back onto her own giant robot feet, threw Alphys off of herself, and began hurling laser spears at her in a fit of furious anger. I'll slap you across the face with my right hand! I'll slap you across the face the other way with my left! Alphys laughed as she bobbed and weaved through the onslaught of projectiles and then proceeded to literally do exactly what she was describing, sending Undyne reeling backwards dizzily as Alphys pulled out a potato crisp bag from her cocktail glove compartment and cracked it open. I'll take a potato... What the fuck? I'll take a potato chip and eat it! I understand that reference, and fuck you. Alphys laughed evilly as she melodramatically pulled out a chip from the bag, lifted it up to her mouth, and ate it, sending a mirage of sparkling, fatty shards flying everywhere as Undyne lunged forward and tackled her flat on the ground. Why'd you do it, Undyne? Why'd you have to steal my freaking lunch money? Alphys yelled angrily at Undyne as the two of them began rolling on the ground together in a fury, accidentally squashing several of the onlookers surrounding them. Oh god, they killed Satoru Iwata! Bastards! Several members of the audience screamed in unison while Alphys and Undyne got back onto their giant robot feet yet again, activated their giant robot jetpacks, and engaged in a massive flying cyclone fistfight with each other, ALA classic Dragon Ball Z, creating a violent tornado that tore right through several buildings. Who the fuck is Satoru Iwata? Who is that? I don't understand that reference. And now if they said, you killed Kenny, you bastard, I understand that reference, but I don't know who Satoru Iwata is. Someone send help. Because I needed it, Alphys! Because that goddamn Snickers ice cream bar was just too unbelievably tempting for me to resist! Undyne cried as she and Alphys both pulled the outer portions of their chest armor wide open and began firing devastating nipple lasers at each other. Okay, yeah, so we're past the part that I know. And everything else, I have no idea what's gonna happen. I'm already concerned with nipple lasers. Your mind is deceiving. Look into my nipples of the future and see the truth. I never thought I'd ever say that sentence in my life. Oh god, my life isn't real anymore. Okay. Alphys roared in frustration as she and Undyne fired their laser beams in just such a way that they collided directly with each other and began clashing furiously with each other in a rainbow flash of yellow, blue, for Alphys and Undyne, respectively. Neon colors and sparks that set the entire area around them completely and utterly ablaze, riffed with the sounds of screaming civilians. That's actually funny. Gasp! How dare you! Alphys gasped and shrieked in utterly disgusted shock as Undyne's mech kneeled onto its knees, extended out its long, pointy snake-like tongue, gently grabbing Alphys' shoulder, and somewhat reluctantly began licking her giant robot tits in a display of outright shameless surrender, not to mention playfully mutual lesbian affection. So that paragraph I'm gonna have to skip because I'm not sure if I'm allowed to read that in YouTube standards. Yeah. Not because it's lesbians, but this is really weird. I don't want to read that also. I don't want to read about two mechs suddenly just, well, Just gonna move on. Meanwhile, in the middle of the cafeteria at Middle School in Hotland. We can explain. Alphys and Undyne blushed embarrassingly, the former rebuttoning her lab coat and giggling awkwardly like the adorable little nerd she always was, as literally everyone in the entire cafeteria gathered around them and stared at them in utter confusion. Hey guys, wanna see my newly acquired boner? You're fucking middle school, Sans. What the fuck are you going on about? Sans shrugged and chuckled with a smugly smirking wink as everyone glanced at him irritatedly. You fucking stink. You freaking stink. Burger Pants yelled at Sans, dunking him right on the head with a loaded carton of chocolate milk, and then more or less immediately proceeding to roll on the floor crying and laughing hysterically as it spilled all over his expensive, fancy, stain-proof jacket. Sans, you really do seriously need to rethink your life choices. Papyrus sighed, face-palming himself in disappointment at his dejectedly sighing brother's only natural for junior high immaturity. A few minutes later in the hallway. Okay, so, let's see here. What was my locker combination again? Undyne wondered to herself, pulling her recently slapped together reminder card out of her jeans pocket and examining the incredibly non-complex series of numbers that she had written down on it. Alright, so 15, 30, 45. Undyne laughed, feeling rather embarrassingly accomplished with herself as she cracked open the lock and unlocked her locker to find an incredibly cute, chubby, and bi-spectacle little surprise hiding in there. Peekaboo! Tee-hee-hee! Alphys giggled as she tumbled out of Undyne's otherwise empty locker like Winnie the Pooh and landed right in the fish lady's open, loving arms. Aw, you're making my heart melt! Undyne squeaked, crying warm and salty tears of joy as she cradled Alphys in her arms like a fat little baby and smooched her right on the forehead. Man, for crying out loud, what in the actual hell is up with those two? Caddy asked her current boyfriend Burger Pants as she and him both unloaded their supplies into their lockers and took out the things that they were going to need. In this case, pencils were all that they really needed, so that was all they took with them. Okay, thank you narrator senpai for telling me that. Just like how literally any normal student would. What do you mean, my sweet darling cupcake? Why am I giving him a good voice? Probably because I already gave him a fucking deep-ass voice and might as well make it good, because fuck shit, son, I don't know what to do with my life. Burger Pants asked her teasingly as he stroked her hair, wrapped his arms around her gently, and lovingly smooched her on the cheek. I mean, like, seriously, why are they acting like literally no less than my absolute freaking Yuri-shipped dream come true? Honestly, it's so freaking sweet that it just makes me want to literally, like, hold on a sec, I'm not feeling so good. Caddy gagged, leaned forward, and threw up half of her entire homemade bacon and eggs breakfast all over the floor in appalled disgust at how sickeningly adorable Alphys and Undyne were together. Don't worry, dear, I'll clean that up for you. Burger Pants chuckled, getting down his hands and knees and servilely, fuck you, licking Caddy's rancid, nasty puke right off the floor. Wow, these floors are so freaking clean, I dare say they're even arguably fit for a king to eat off of. Burger Pants gagged and snickered sarcastically as he stuck out his tongue and brushed the hairy, glittery dirt off of it with his fluffy, four-fingered mutant hands. Ew. Ahem. Garrison greeted him with his hands planted firmly on his side and his foot tapping impatiently on the floor as the rest of his new class filed in the room next to him. Greetings, everyone. I am Garrison Shellbach, your new history teacher for the year. Garrison greeted his new students as they all filed systematically into their seats. From left to right, the arrangement was exactly as followed. Alphys and Undyne and Burger Pants in the front row, Temmie and Caddy and Frisk in the middle row, and last but not least, Sans, Papyrus, and Muffet in the back row. Wait, Frisk is here too? And is Temmie finally getting her... Oh, wait, no, middle school, never mind. She's not getting a degree yet. As a result of the recent brilliant as always work of our biology teacher, Mr. W.D. Gaster, we've admittedly made a rather shocking new development in the field of both technology and education. Garrison melodramatically explained, jumping onto his desk and gesturing excitedly with his hands. Yeah! Pyrus yelled in pain as Sans strapped on a joy buzzer and smugly shook his hand, literally shocking his poor brother and thus playing his own profoundly unfunny part in what was probably one of Garrison's corniest jokes yet. For God's sake, seriously, Sans! Anyways, Garrison chuckled, glaring smugly at Papyrus, this new experiment will hopefully bring a whole new meaning to the term thinking cap, if I do say so myself. Laddies and gentlemonsters, I present to you whatever the heck this newfangled techno-babble stuff is. Do you see it? Do you see this newfangled techno-babble stuff? There's nothing on there, so I don't know what you'd be saying. I may edit something I don't fucking know yet. Garrison rambled like the senile old coot he was, and he pulled out a massive box of virtual reality helmets from underneath his desk and handed out to everyone. Oh no. Wow, I feel even more smarter already! Papyrus laughed as he clumsily fumbled with the straps for his helmet, while Sans just sighed irritably and levitated onto the silly goof's head himself. Man, does this open all kind of incredibly smutty new shipping opportunities for both of us? High chance of causing double vision and brain cancer notwithstanding. Alphys and Undyne laughed, high-fiving each other and almost forgetting how incredibly dorky they both looked at the moment. In Alphys' case, she was wearing nerd goggles over her geek glasses. What the fuck are nerd goggles? What the fuck are geek glasses? What the fuck are you high on? Temmie can count to potato now! Temmie squeaked with joy as she put on her helmet and immediately performing acrobatic pirouettes off the wall in a hyperactive fit of excitement. Oh, wow! Caddy and Burger Pants looked at each other seductively and growled hornily. Please no. Please no. Please, I don't know. The better to watch we'll eat each other with, my dear. Muffet cackled mischievously, licking her dainty little spider lips and rubbing her no less than 6 hands together like a dirty, scheming fly as she used her new device to hop into the World Wide Web and immediately begin searching for the nearest Vor sites. Frisk replied, not quite knowing how they were supposed to respond to such a statement. Same. I just respond with pterodactyl noise. I don't know what the fuck to do. Anyways, this thing that Gasser hasn't quite been able to come up with a suitably rhyming name for yet will basically relay all of the necessary academic information about each class period's topic of the day to you, and then you'll get to do it yourself, Garrison explained, checking his watch and sighing as he realized that the helmets had already taken probably over the entire minute to load. So, how exactly does this work, so to speak? Undyne raised her hand and asked curiously, cocking an eyebrow at him from behind her incredibly embarrassing new eyewear. You'll see, Garrison sighed and shrugged, rolling his eyes at the very thought of someone like Gasser ever mistaking something like this for a good idea. This was clearly just another one of the mad scientist's trollish, elaborate, often more than ambiguously evil schemes. Okay, so, back in the olden days of yore, pirates of all races, shapes, and sizes sailed the vast aqueous seas of the Earth's surface. And oh, for God's sakes, you bunch of whippersnappers ain't even listening to anything I'm saying right now, are you? Garrison sighed, drooping forward and face-palming himself in shame as the swashbuckling chaos began. Shiver me finely aged oaken timbers, spaghetti mate! Pyrus, who was now wearing an incredibly stereotypical pirate costume with a hook, suit, eye patch, jeans, skull hat, and all, just like everyone else in the current simulation, gasped in surprise as he looked through his telescope and saw Sans' evil ghost ship approaching his honorable and civilized Navy ship that he had clearly stole from the Navy because really, what other option did he have? Papyrus, Undyne, Alphys, and Burger Pants were on the Navy ship. Sans, Frisk, Caddy, and Temmie were on the Ghost one. Trust me, this was an entirely random coincidence, and so was the fact that the Navy and Ghost teams somehow just so happened to be color-coded specifically as red and blue, respectively. Arg, for the love of Davy Jones himself, Captain, who in the 7 blasted underwaters hell are you freaking talking to? Undyne yelled at him, smacking him upside the head with the back of her right hand as she brandished her spear with the other. Myself as always! Papyrus shrugged and sighed, tucking his telescope back into his pocket, drawing out his bone whip and standing heroically on the crow's nest of his ship as a gorgeous red cape blew gallantly in the wind, while not actually doing anything helpful whatsoever. Yo, a little help here. Burger Pants hastily climbed up the ladder of the mast and asked Papyrus urgently as the enemy ship drew closer to theirs. Alphys, if I die here, tell my mother I was a fat, ugly harlequin! Alphys asked Undyne, weeping and sobbing gently as the two of them lovingly hugged each other down the cannon's deck, taking turns burying their heads into each other's boobs as the enemy laughed at their tragic misfortune. Man, what a bunch of lily-livered jokers! Sans laughed and cried hysterically, clutching his sides and rolling on the starboard floor in amusement while Temmie and Caddy manned the cannons down below. Honestly, to make my pacifist incarnation somehow look like even more of a badass than it already is. Frisk chuckled, drawing out his cutlass and narrowing his eyes in anticipation as the enemy fleet rapidly drew nearer and nearer. Excuse me, Frisk is a genderless child? Fuck you? Gee, it sure is boring around here! Temmie yawned boredly as she curled up and fell asleep on top of the crow's nest, being completely useless and forgettable as always. Caddy! Sans yelled at the top of his non-existent lungs so that Caddy could hear him down below in the cannon's deck, but she had already gotten busy loading up the cannons. Yes? Caddy yelled back with an incredibly overconfident smirk as the enemy fleet began loading up its own cannons in preparation for the oncoming battle of good versus evil? Who knows? Fire at will! Sans commanded, drawing out his legendary revolver from its holster and firing it straight up into the air to signal that the battle had begun, as the two ships immediately began firing upon each other, leaving very large and gaping holes in each other's woodwork, as they fired cannonballs at each other with such force that they sometimes even managed to literally go all the way through the ship and come right out the other side.
Great googly moogly, we're all going to die!
Papyrus screamed in terror and ran around frantically in circles, while Undyne shot herself over onto the ghost ship with her grappling hook. Meanwhile, Burger Pants and Alphys were busy with the cannons down below.
Alphys, don't worry about me, honey. I'll just stay behind and handle these cannons myself.
Burger Pants explained frantically and very worriedly to Alphys,
Who was now curled up in an adorable little ball.
stroking her pudgy little sonic quills as she stuffed herself into a cannon with both hands and lit the fuse without even a second thought.
It was awfully nice knowing you!
Alphys screamed in excitement as the cannon shot her right through one of the many holes that were already being left in the ghost ship's attacking side and directly onto the cannon deck, where she ricocheted all over the room like a bouncy ball and hit Caddy right in the face, sending her stumbling through yet another hole in the ship and causing her to fall overboard right into the mouth of a hungry shark.
Huh, huh, you fell down.
Burger Pants grunted exhaustedly as he slowly but surely lugged the ship's ginormous catapult device up the stairs onto the main deck of the ship, while Sans was busy having a weirdly matched spear against gunfight with his nemesis Undyne.
Alright, that's it! No more Mr. Nice Skeleton!
Papyrus growled furiously, backing away just in time from the crumbling edge of his ship as the main deck began collapsing all around him.
Forget about a bad time. You scallywags are going to have one hell of a time by the time I'm through with you!
Papyrus yelled valiantly, charging forward and leaping through the air as he twirled his bone whip like a helicopter propeller, effectively gliding himself all the way over onto the almost equally falling apart main deck of the ghost ship and landing with a furiously stylish dropkick directly to Sans' bony head, while Burger Pants catapulted himself right into the mast with a very heavy and massive cannonball
With bowling ball grips.
in hands.
Temmy, never die!
Temmy squeaked at the top of her lungs, leaping from the crow's nest, sliding down the mast just as it was toppling over like a massive domino into the ocean, and then immediately proceeding to viciously maul poor Burger Pants right in the face.
For fuck's sake, there you are, finally.
Burger Pants screamed in the mixture of both agonizing pain and unbridled rage as he and Temmy rolled around on the deck together, clawing and biting at each other's faces in an incredibly overglorified catfight, while Frisk and Alphys were locked in mortal cutlass combat with each other near the ship's precarious plank.
Admit it, Alphys. Superman is stronger than freaking Goku.
Frisk yelled furiously at Alphys, taking a fierce swing at her with his cutlass, which Alphys narrowly ducked under and countered with an even fiercer swing of her own cutlass directly into Frisk's, causing both swords to shatter in innumerable pieces while Papyrus was busy deflecting the myriad of legendary golden bullets from Sans' revolver with propeller rotation of his whip.
Never!
Alphys roared in a fit of seething nerd rage, shattering her glasses from her own sheer volume, and annoyingly high-pitched as Frisk snatched the remaining sword hilt from her hands, took both of the broken hilts in both hands, and jabbed them forcefully into her eyes.
My eyes!
Alphys screamed in agony as she stumbled backwards onto the plank, with Frisk literally about to lunge forward and shove her right off the ship when all of a sudden,
Psych!
Alphys laughed, spinning around in a circle and tripping Frisk right off the plank with her big pudgy lizard tail as he screamed for dear life and cursed her all the way down into the obligatory shark's hungry, razor-toothed, eagerly awaiting mouth.
Die, Papyrus.
Sans yelled furiously at Papyrus, reflecting Undyne's spear toss right back to her with his telekinetic powers, skewing her right through the head as he began launching a massive onslaught of bone-related magic attacks at his own skeletal pirate brother.
How dare you?
Sans yelled in frustration as he summoned a massive earthquake of bones straight Papyrus's way, sending him flying all the way over to the very back of the deck.
Ever forget?
Sans yelled in rapid growing anger as he summoned a large storm of heat-seeking bone projectiles and sent them flying directly into Papyrus, hitting him right in the back and sending him flying all the way back over to where he himself was standing.
Who raised you?
Sans yelled lividly as he suplexed Papyrus back and forth using his telekinetic powers, leaving not one, but two additional gaping holes in the deck while Burger Pants clawed his way into Temmy's chest, ripping at her heart and ate it.
This has got really fucking weird really quickly. I don't know how I feel about any of this.
You.
Sans yelled furiously as he swung Papyrus around and around like Bowser in Super Mario 64 and flung him straight up into the air.
Stupid brother of mine.
Sans screamed in a fit of rage, teleporting all the way up to the peak of Papyrus's flight and punched him so hard that he shot back down to the ground like a meteorite, leaving a cripplingly massive hole all the way through the center of the ship.
Tastes like chicken. Ugh.
Burger Pants laughed, blood dribbling down his chin as he unceremoniously tossed Temmie's mangled corpse off the ship and fed it to the local sharks.
Oh, sweet foot-licking Christ! The ship is sinking! What are we going to do? What are we going to... Gah!
I don't know what y'all want from me. Sans screamed as the ship was caught mid-sink by the lowermost legs of the massively
intimidating
Little Miss Muffet, a massive, kraken-sized spider beast that, for some weirdly unexplained reason, lived in the ocean.
Burger Pants, please hold me. I'm scared.
Alphys whimpered, wetting her pants and gazing in dumbfounded, jaw-dropping horror at the massive, terrifying, bloodthirsty beast, while Burger Pants,
who of course was gently cradling Alphys in his arms at the moment,
did the same.
Oh, sweet dearie me. Look like it's time for my next big meal.
Little Miss Muffet laughed ominously, her voice echoing all the way across the general area as she threateningly raised her other 6 legs at her new soon-to-be victim.
Sans, Burger Pants, and Alphys, of course,
And opened her mouth, literally as wide as it could possibly go, revealing 3 massive rows of razor-sharp teeth as she hawked up several balls of webbing at the poor unfortunate souls, who somehow all managed to just barely sidestep out of the way in time before getting hit.
What happened here? Why is your mouth still wide open for literally no apparent reason whatsoever?
Sans asked the beast curiously, cocking a non-existent eyebrow at her in profound confusion.
Well, I think I literally just broke my jaw from opening up my mouth too wide.
Little Miss Muffet groaned and sighed as she stood there defensively, her mouth ripe for the entry.
Come on, guys, let's go in there and give this bitch a taste of her own medicine.
Alphys laughed sadistically as she and her fellow survivors jumped right into Little Miss Muffet's wide-open mouth and made their way straight into her stomach to lay the internal smackdown on her. I'm gonna put a little warning on the screen. Viewers discretion advised. I'll click link to skip to after this part because this is gonna get fucking bloody. Holy shit.
Oh, God, please help me. I don't want to die this way. No, not like this. God, won't someone please just help me? Help me, Mommy.
Little Miss Muffet cried and screamed in agony as Alphys and Burger Pants shredded large portions of her inner stomach walls into bloody, gory bits with their bare, razor-sharp claws, while Sans traveled into her intestines and used his telekinetic powers to tie them up into a mangled, twisted, bleeding knot.
Ooh. Did somebody order heart attack on buns?
Burger Pants laughed, reaching into his pants and magically pulling out infinite number of deep-fried glam burgers, which he then tossed at a rate of at least 2 per second into the poor beast's plugged-up digestive system until her entire stomach was filled to the brim with them, and our heroes were basically standing on top of them.
Oh, sweet Jesus, have mercy. My stomach is literally killing me from the inside, and my chest is swelling up so much that I might.
Little Miss Muffet groveled miserably and shrieked in pain as her body rapidly inflated like an oversized organic balloon until it finally exploded into innumerable bloody pieces, even getting several of them splattered onto one of the local cameraman's lenses. Wait, hold on. Cameraman? What? I thought we were in VR right now. Are we not? Why is there a cameraman? Excuse me? Hello? Can we talk about this? Can this be discussed? Because I'm very curious now.
So guys, what did we learn today?
Sans asked Alphys and Burger Pants, patting them both on the back as the combined 3 of them grabbed several of the beast's legs, clambered up on the floating remains of her ribcage, and paddled their way over to the nearest deserted island for food and shelter.
Well, I guess you could say we learned that Undertale is apparently supposed to be even more ridiculously violent game than Mortal Kombat X and God of War.
Alphys sighed as she stuck out her tongue and winced in disgust, trying desperately not to puke her guts out at the mere thought of what she and her friends had done to Lil Miss Muffet.
Oh my God, that was so much fun. Can we, do it again?
Muffet laughed and cried ecstatically, waving her arms in the air and hopping up and down excitedly as Garrison went around the room and systematically removed everyone's helmet one after another.
No!
Everyone else in the room yelled, glaring at her in strongly unified disapproval.
Holy shit, that was long.
Oh my God, there's more to this too. There's more chapters. There's 8 chapters of that shit. Oh my God, that was long as fuck. But I had fun with that. I thought it was funny as fuck to read. Hope you guys enjoyed it too. Let me know if you guys want me to read more of the story. I may or may not, just because it's fucking long and ridiculous and whew, okay, yeah. But either way, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Recommend me stories because I'm always on the lookout for more stories. Because you see what I find on my own. But also let me know what you think of this story because holy shit, this was a fucking roller coaster of I don't even know what anymore. I don't even know how we got from point A to the point B. How did any of this happen? Why were they fighting in anthropomorphic mechs? Why were they on a pirate ship? Why was there virtually out in the first place? Who the fuck is Garrison? What the fuck was anything in the story? I don't even know anymore. But God, I don't know. I just love this story for some reason. It was so fun to read. Oh, the voices kill my throat. And if I lose my voice, I'm gonna blame the story. But yeah, let me know what you think of this in the comments below, because I know I enjoyed it. I want to know what you guys thought. Don't forget to make bad life choices. I'll see y'all next time. Goodbye, my lovelies.